Hi guys, today me and Jake are teaching you how to teach your dog to do pick and drop. So what is pick and drop is moreover like they go and bring something for you. I'm sorry, there's something going on at the back. It's been days. I'm not sure when this is gonna stop. So forgive us for the sound. He's very excited because he could see his favorite treat. So I'm gonna teach you in 3 simple steps how to teach your dog to bring something to you, in the sense that you ask them to get something and they drop. This is not fetch, it's like bring something sort of thing to you. So what you need, he really liked this stinky chicken of his. It's really, I've watched it many times, so it's stinky. And then if your dog does not know what to do, it's very important that you start encouraging them something they will naturally pick on. So for example, toys, plastic bottle, anything. Try not to use tissues because they often just like chew on it. Oh, the eye is gone. Just noticed. So what you need to do is you need to take toys or anything that you know your dog 100% going to pick up. Apart from that, I have got some nice biscuits for him. That's his favorite. But if your dog is not trained, he gets biscuits like rarely. So if your dog is not trained, my suggestion is to use meat, right? So let's start with the step number 1. In step number 1, what I need to do is I'm just teaching the dog to hold something in the mouth, right? So you can just play with them, or you know, you can do something like right? So you just put in the mouth, take it away, and then give the food. So you do this. Right? So what you're doing is you're teaching the behavior that you want your dog to understand, that he needs to put this in the mouth, and then you take it away, right? Try not to snatch it. That's all you have to do. What you do this. Yeah. Right? So this is the step number 1. Now let's move to step number 2. The step number 2 is you need to teach your dog to hold something for a little longer, because you are done with step number 1, which you have taught them a concept to hold it in the mouth. Second goes that you teach them to hold it for a little longer, right? And then you start using the word saying hold, or any command you want. I prefer to say hold. So what you could do, you can put this, say hold. Good boy, right? Then make sure that your dog picks it up at least for 3 seconds, and then you build it up to 5 to 8 to 10. Hold.
Wow!
Right? So if your dog is not letting it go, what you could do, you can have the food and put it on their nose like this, and take the thing away. Please make sure not to snatch it, right? Hold. Hold. Alright, great. We're moving to our step number 3. In step number 3, what you need to do is you have to make sure that your dog learn to drop. Holding is not enough. The command which we are teaching is like the dog bring something and give it to you, right? It's not sort of a fetch, it's not a toy. Then you can move to an object. Rather than the toy, gradually start moving to an object. So what I've done here, I've just picked up some random stuff that I have, like, which is not this toy, but just like random stuff that I have. So I'm going to ask him to hold these things. Hold. And then you give it up, right? And then I'm going to use this doggy toy. Hold. So you need to make sure that you start after a while. So you have to make sure that you start teaching your dog to start picking on things that belongs to you, and him to consider them not as a toy, because initially we started with the toys. Now you have to move on like other stuff, right? So it's a calm hold. Right? So because he's easily giving up, now we'll move to our final stage, which is step number 4. What you need to do is in step number 4 is now you need to teach the dog to basically hold and drop on command, right? Hold. So what we're doing, we're teaching the command drop, right? For command drop, you need to make sure that the dog holds a few hours this was not allowed, right? He can't drop it. Like this could be something important. Hold, drop, drop. Good, right? Make sure your dog doesn't drop it the way he did it. It has to be in your hand, so you need to take out your hand and ask him to drop. Hold, drop. Good, right? It's very important that you teach your dog to keep holding until unless you go forward and ask to give, because sometimes when I was teaching him, he was literally dropping the stuff. I was asking him to hold on my phone and then he dropped it, because you need to clearly make this distinction that this is not a fetch. So whenever you give your dog something, it's very, very important you give this gesture, or you give this sort of position where you take out your hand and say hold, and then gradually either you can take it out or they can let go of the grip, right? So we'll do it again. Let's try with a packet, right? Hold, drop. Good. Right? So what we need to do is now we need to build on stuff, and then we need to make sure that he only gives up when you ask. Hold it. Drop. Good boy. Right? Great. So these are the simple 4 steps where you can teach your dog how to hold and drop on the command. There's another thing that is known as like you teach, this is like the starting stage of teaching any dog to go and grab something. This is like the initial exercise, hold command and then drop command, because this is something that will help you in future to teach your dog to go and grab something on a command, not like just randomly. So it's super important for you that you first teach this before moving to another command where you ask your dog to go and grab something, right? So work on these 4 commands, and I hope this will be helpful. It is super easy. You might have issues. Don't try to teach this to a very young puppy. Your dog needs to have some level of obedience. You cannot teach to a dog who's destructive, because whatever you give them, they might just chew it up. And let's say if your dog is not picking up a concept of picking something in the mouth, you start, as I already mentioned, you start providing objects that they are more likely to pick up. So for example, plastic bottles, you can use plastic bags, you can use wrappers, you can use their toys. Their toys is the easiest way to make them do it, because they are very likely to grab on it. They play with it. You need to build up little time, and after building the time, you go ahead and do it. Thanks for watching. I hope you find this interesting, and thanks to Jake for being very good boy. His entire focus is on his treats, but come on, good boy. Alright, thanks guys, we'll see you soon again.